You keep wondering why certain people drain you, confuse you, show up hot and cold, take too much, disappear, come back like nothing happened. And you start thinking, maybe you're the common denominator, maybe you're too sensitive, maybe you're supposed to fix your tone, your boundaries, your personality. Stop. That spiral is not insight, it's conditioning. And there's a very specific shift that changes everything. And when you do it consistently, you don't need to announce it. You don't need to confront anyone. You just watch people quietly fall away on their own. Here it is. You remove the emotional reward. That's it. Toxic dynamics don't survive neutrality. They survive reaction, access, explanation, and inconsistency. The moment you stop feeding those four things, the entire structure collapses without you having to push it. Think about it like this. Some people aren't in your life because of love. They're in your life because of the way your energy responds to them. The attention, the over-explaining, the quick replies, the emotional spikes, the forgiveness that comes too fast, the availability that never gets questioned. That's the payoff. And people, consciously or not, stay where there is payoff. So when I say do this, I mean become unprofitable to the version of them that only knows how to interact through imbalance. You don't argue less, you don't argue more, you just stop performing emotional intensity for people who haven't earned it. You reply slower, not as a tactic, but because they're not the center of your nervous system anymore. You stop over-clarifying yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You say less, and you mean more. And you stay consistent even when your emotions want to rewind you back into old patterns. This is where most people fade, not because they don't understand boundaries, but because they keep turning them into performances instead of identity. A boundary is not what you say once. It's what you repeatedly allow yourself to uphold when it would be easier not to. And here's the part that feels almost too simple. Toxic people don't get removed, they get bored. They lose access to the version of you that was emotionally reactive enough to keep the cycle alive. When there's no more urgency in your responses, no more panic to fix things, no more emotional courtroom where you defend your worth, the dynamic has nothing to feed on. And you don't replace it with coldness or punishment. You replace it with indifference. Calm, clean, uninvested clarity. You start treating your energy like something expensive to maintain, not something that has to be spent to prove you're good. And yes, at first they might escalate. That's normal. Systems resist when they lose control of the input. But if you don't participate in the escalation, it runs out of fuel. This is not about manipulating people out of your life. It's about no longer volunteering for dynamics that require you to abandon yourself in order to be kept. The psychological truth underneath all of this is simple. Reinforcement shapes behavior. If someone only receives access to you when they are inconsistent, they will remain inconsistent. If they only receive emotional depth when they show effort, they either rise to it or disappear. Either outcome is information, not loss. And what you're left with is space, quiet, unpressured space where you can actually hear yourself again. So no, you don't chase closure. You don't over-explain your shift. You don't announce your standards like a press release. You just change the conditions of access to you, and you let reality respond. And it will. Not always dramatically, but precisely. People who were attached to your chaos will drift. People who respected your consistency will stay, and you will start to notice something subtle but powerful. Your life gets quieter, not emptier. And in that quiet, you finally become someone you can actually hear. Love you no matter what.